KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Pass the sticks to the Nebraska Esports Squad as they take you on a journey through the wonderful world of video games. Right here on Big Red Esports on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, hello. Welcome back to Big Red Esports. My name is Lexi. I'm the social media manager.
I'm Jaden. I'm the Call of Duty game manager.
And currently, Sam and Z are out today. Sam is working, and Z is just not feeling good. So, Z, if you are listening, and Sam, if you are listening, hope you guys are doing good today. And welcome to all of our listeners. We finally have Jaden back from vacation. Woo!
Yeah, it's been a minute. 3 weeks since the last show I was on.
I think it was 2 or 3. I can't remember.
I missed 2 Saturdays, so that'd be 3.
3?
Yes, 3
okay.
weeks, yeah. This is the third week. So.
But you're finally back, and you're going to have a ton of updates for COD for us today, which is amazing.
There's so much that I probably won't remember all of it.
No, you're good.
It'll come back to me. But there's just so much to talk about across esports as a whole. I think this offseason, there's only a couple leagues going on, and a lot of them are minor, and there's a lot of independent leagues that go on during this time, but all the major stuff, all the top tier pro teams are mainly done by now. The only thing that's kind of stretching on is Warzone. But in this time, we have had layoffs, as we've talked about before. The Activision esports division layoffs have been massive, but we also heard in the last week that Esports Engine, which was a partner of Activision Esports for their things, also laid off 65 employees, which does not spell good for the short term of the industry, but I feel like it's going to be better for the long term if we can actually learn the lessons. The same thing happened going from the grassroots of pre-2008 to 2008. I looked at the history of it. I obviously was 7 years old. I had no idea. The only thing I knew about was Husker Sports. So I went back, looked at it with the whole economic crash in 2008, and there was a lot of different things that went into why it didn't work out. It wasn't directly related to it, but it obviously had impact. And so the same kind of thing is happening. We're making the same corporate mistakes at the top end. And there seems to be a lot of executive push for squeeze every dollar out of it while you can, instead of trying to foster and grow it into something like the NFL, the MLB, NBA, anything like that. But there's also a point to be made that this isn't any traditional sport. This is part of the conversation too. Keeping it grassroots is possibly the way to keep it alive. Keep having these leagues with franchising and stuff like that has obviously not worked at any level. It's just not worked. When you have a league of 12 teams, which is insanely small, by the way, at $25 million to stay in the league year over year. I mean, it's
not sustainable.
It's not. I mean, what kind of money did you think you're making? You're not getting any TV deals. You're streaming on a lot of free live streaming platform. And on top of it, there's just so much that financially didn't make sense. And I think part of the revenue issue is the fact that there's a free place to go. And that's going to be something that's going to be a challenge for the future. But keeping it in the moment, these layoffs, while I mean, obviously horrible for the employees who've made this a living, and I'm sure they'll find somewhere else. These guys were all handpicked by the previous owner and founder of Esports Engine, and he was also a previous CEO for Game Battles, which is also MLG. If anybody remembers MLG, they're still a thing. And they're definitely still a huge part of the Call of Duty scene, at least with basically anything Activision. They help with tournaments at every level. So I could go onto their website, create a Game Battles account, and just start jumping into tournaments with my friends. And so it's a great time. But all these different orgs, they're figuring out the corporate level. You're not going to get a ton of money out of this, and you got to play it really, really thin. You got to be bare bones, and you got to be kind of just very sustainable. We're not sustainable right now. And I think that's the lesson we've learned from these layoffs is sustainability is the goal, but it right now is not the site that the executives have right now.
I also think it's kind of interesting that in football and soccer and like all these other quote unquote traditional sports. I'm using air quotes here because you know, like,
Yeah.
but they had a lot of their layoffs during COVID, but esports boomed during COVID. And so now that we're slowly, gradually coming out of, like, you know, having to be inside a lot and, you know, XYZ, we're now just starting to see all these layoffs because people are doing more stuff outside versus just being inside and having nothing else to do besides play games or to connect with their friends and everything, which is kind of interesting in the industry a little bit. And that's just my opinion, though.
No, it's definitely a component of it, and I think there's going to be a challenge. It's still the interesting thing to note is it's still growing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think viewership hasn't stalled or dropped for a lot of the major leagues.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that really made any league drop in viewership was actually switching over to YouTube from Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
at least any significant numbers. But it is something to note that, you know, this does have a limit to some sense of viewership, in terms of, unless it's a college and you've got that territorial basis. That's why pros don't work. You can't go territorial
Mm-hmm.
because it's just not going to build in the same way.
Well, I mean, Overwatch tried it, and now they're looking to switch how they do their whole entire league.
Well, so is Call of Duty,
Mhm.
because they tried to localize, but then they don't have local events enough.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't
Mhm.
in the pro league that's completely focused on online and, you know, a major or 5 majors inside of like a 10-month period. Not even 10 months. It's like 9 months now.
Mhm.
But it's just kind of one of those things where you can't localize it unless you're at the college level and you've already got that local fan base built up from other sport events. And that
Mhm.
fan base is such passionate as us, you know, and with football here and everything else, everybody's, you know, it's all building, right? The hype is building around this program, especially. And college is the only scene where I think localization works. And that'll be something that keeps college alive during the bad times of the pro scene, or even the semi-pro scene with challengers and academy leagues and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's sustainable, but it's also it's interesting to think about, you know, how to make that work with the viewership, how to reach new people when, you know, more people are spending more time at work or more time outside and going back into the office or what have you. It's going to be an interesting challenge.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I feel like I just lost my train of thought, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I had a good topic and then I just lost it. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it'll come back.
It'll come back. Yeah,
it'll come back. But you have some interesting news about COD and some possible new characters being added to it.
Yeah. So in celebration of the 50 years of hip hop, Call of Duty is adding 3 new operators in Snoop Dogg, Nicki Minaj, and 21 Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Snoop Dogg is a returning character to
Oh,
Call
really?
of Duty. Yeah, he's been in 3 Call of Duties, if I remember correctly. He was a sound pack actually for Call of Duty Ghosts way back when.
Oh my god, that's funny.
It was sick. I gotta be honest. It made everything.
Mhm.
He was the announcer for both teams.
Mm.
And it was everything, every ad lib you could think of.
Mhm.
And he just went in and did it like in studio. It was all intentionally done for Call of Duty.
Mhm.
And probably the best thing to ever happen, the best thing to ever buy for Call of Duty. I'm going to be honest. And then he came back as an operator in Vanguard last year, and he's coming back this year. But this time around, they're actually making all the cosmetics transferable from Modern Warfare 2 to the new game.
Oh.
So he and all these other operators, and if you bought Lionel Messi and other, you know, operators in this game, they will transfer over to the next game in November. So that's something interesting to keep in mind, where they're adding all these cosmetics late. These cosmetics will transfer over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot of games don't transfer cosmetics because they want that monetization of, well, this game's done for pretty much. You're not, you know, whatever. You're gonna buy it on this one. So that's really interesting. But
yeah, I think it's a good selling point too for cosmetics, of saying they do transfer. You're going to be able to keep them. Plus, it kind of gets rid of the let's bring back the same general thing, you know, or it opens up more creative ability. So that's cool. I'm not really one for cosmetics, but I am glad that my ghost skin gets to transfer over. It's the only thing I got in this game was a ghost skin, which is one of the characters from the campaign. He's a niche community favorite.
He's not a neat. He was all over my TikTok.
Well, I
of,
mean,
like
that's
people
the new,
memeing
but
him about him being like really hunky and
yeah, but before
you know.
before this game, okay,
Okay,
don't give me,
okay.
don't, hey, come on. Before this game, he was kind of more of a lore side character, but he was in the original Modern Warfare trilogy.
Was he in Call of Duty Ghosts?
He was not a Ghost, but that was the entire reference of the game. They
Gotcha.
basically centered on Ghost, and the actual dog from the campaign was named Riley, which is Simon Ghost Riley. That's his full name.
Okay. I played the campaign and I don't remember anything from it. So
Really?
yeah. I mean, that was back in like
well,
middle school.
Do you not remember them dropping tungsten rods on California?
No.
I mean, that, or like the space station mission was pretty cool. Like, where you're anti-gravity and you're jumping around.
I would have to replay it to really. It's been such a long time.
That's fair. I'll accept that. But it's definitely one of the better campaigns, and but it actually, to this day, interestingly enough, still the fastest time to kill in multiplayer. I think it was maybe 0.2 of a second, 0.3 of a second for time to kill, and Modern Warfare 2 is third at 0.34 seconds, I believe. So, I mean, then we have the goated perfection of like 0.45, something like that in Cold War, which is that is nice. I hope we go back to that. But focusing on kind of the internal mechanics of Call of Duty for just a second, we've had a lot of leaks about Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 3 is what it's supposed to be. Usually there's like a year in between, but where they gave Treyarch an extra year, which is the first time a developer's gotten 4 years to develop a game for Call of Duty. And they kind of rushed Sledgehammer to make Modern Warfare 3. So we're not sure. They're using the same engine and a bunch of other stuff to kind of expedite the process. But we know slide canceling. Well, we don't know, but it's been leaked. Slide canceling coming back. The red dots on the radar, which were gone in Modern Warfare 2, are coming back in Modern Warfare 3. There's going to be a lot of quality of life changes that it's basically just reverse back like 5 years for a lot of features, because a lot of the multiplayer fan base has been kind of let down by a lot of these new changes. And there's a lot of things about too much realism, a lot of talk about too much realism in an arcade shooter, which has kind of been, it's been the talk for it's been the talk since Modern Warfare 2019, which people loved that game. But then after it kind of ended and we went back to Cold War, people were like, what is this? But Cold War was the essential. I mean, it was the definitive what COD used to be.
Yeah.
And then it got kind of bad reviews and kind of stalled. But I mean, after now, I mean, pros go back to Cold War to play tournaments instead of staying on the new game or going back to Vanguard or any other game. They go back to Cold War.
Well, my thing with the realism part is that I don't, maybe COD has done this in the past, but I know there are some games out there that they have like a realism slider, kind of basically, is to where you can make it as realistic as you want to or as not realistic, especially with like blood and graphics and gore. Some countries don't allow that, so they have a slider on it to where you can turn it off if you feel like it's too much for you or something. Or is it more just like the actual like surrounding areas?
The actual
realism?
the game build, right? So in Modern Warfare 2, every attachment that you add makes the gun heavier. It doesn't show that trait, but every attachment you add to the gun makes it heavier.
So you
meaning
walk a
little slower, and all these different things. And they got rid of slide cancel and no red dot on the radar when an enemy shoots, which, I mean, that was like a trademark thing for COD, is like you kind of know where they are generally based on where they're shooting, and you can better position, and it creates a lot more thought about the tactics instead of, oh, I'm listening for a sound cue in this year, trying to echolocate where they are like a bat, you know? So reverting all these, reverting all these hyper realistic changes, such as, you know, just all like no reload cancel was a huge one. It gets me killed a lot because you go to reload and then it has a sequential reloading. So if you take out the magazine, or the animation gets the magazine, you can switch guns or try to reload cancel, and then it'll bring back when you're trying to put it in, restarting that part of the animation.
Gotcha.
And it'll get you killed every time. It's so annoying at this point, at least in the competitive scene. I can get why it'd be very immersive and stuff like that for the casual player, but for the competitive scene, it's been really damaging. It's been really, this year's been a huge burnout year for a lot of players. But yeah, so going into the next game, Sledgehammer's always been really good about listening to the competitive scene, and so they're kind of reverting a lot of those changes, which thank goodness can be done in this engine. I was a little worried, but then we're hoping and praying that it'll be, basically the main rumor is we're going to get on a nostalgia fest for the next year until we get to the Treyarch game, because Treyarch has always nailed it out of the park when they get actual time to do things. You know, case in point, Black Ops 4 was not the greatest game. It was great for competitive, but it was not great as a whole, because they basically were told by Activision, hey, cut your campaign, do a battle royale within the last 2 months of development before release, because Fortnite got big. And then that blackout game mode only lasted for that year. And then we got to, I think it was right before Modern Warfare 2019, which then had Warzone. And now Treyarch is basically the only developer doing a lot of the work. So they did this game's ranked and stuff like that. So yeah, lots to be excited for, lots of changes that are exciting. And I'm just ready to get into that season. I'm ready for spring.
I mean, do you think, another topic, do you think that the Microsoft buyout is going to change? Maybe do you think they might give a little bit more time, or do you think that they're going to say you still have the allotted 4?
Treyarch probably won't need any more time. If they do, they might extend maybe a month, but I wouldn't count on it. And plus, where this game's been in development for so long, I doubt Microsoft would really do anything to change it that late in the process. The only the games that I'd see them starting to actually impact would be about 2 years down the line from now. So it'd be after that Treyarch game. If they decide that Treyarch game is going to last 2 years, or if they have, I'm sure that Infinity Ward will be the next one up after that. As we have a cycle of 3 developers that make these games, and they all kind of play different based on the developer, which is kind of fun. It keeps it fresh, but yeah. So I wouldn't see Xbox making any real impact until, especially after the PlayStation deals are done, when that'd be 2025, when that deal runs out, and they can officially start putting the old Xbox games on, well, the old Call of Duty games on Game Pass, which is, I mean, that's exciting.
They have a couple of the new ones. I remember the newest one is on Game Pass. That was the only reason why that I played one game of Warzone, and then I put it down.
Well, it's also, Warzone is free as well.
Yeah, well, for some reason it was like I had to like have the main campaign, like actual game, and then I could get Warzone for some reason. But luckily, I had Game Pass, so I could just do it through that. But
that's nice. It's interesting. Yeah, it's definitely gotten better in the last few weeks, months. And actually, they got rid of, I think it was 14,000 hackers.
Wow.
In the last 24 hours.
Holy, oh my God.
It's been a purging, but it's been a needed one. It's still so bad. There's,
I mean, it's just like any quote unquote free to play game. There's going to be hackers. It's just going to be hard to kind of.
Yeah. Well, they finally added, now you have to put your phone number in to play the game. So you have to have, so I play on Steam, right? I had to connect my phone number to my Steam, so then it could verify that I actually, have a phone or am a person. Because,
but I mean, that can always be bypassed, like Skype or whatever. Like you can get a phone number through Skype or something.
But it has to be a verified phone number and all of this stuff. It's a whole thing. So like you have to go through a phone verification process on Steam, and then you can play. So I'm sure that'll lower player numbers, but also that'll be like anybody that really wants to play the game. And
it's not going to stop anybody that wants to play the game.
No, but it'll stop a lot of hackers from having a backup account or a different IP address and all these different things. It'll help a lot, but it adds a couple more steps. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not going to impact that much, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, straying away from COD for a second, we're getting closer to the season. And to the fall season. Not sure exactly what we're going to do yet, and at least in the COD scene. But
you have an update with the player.
Do I?
Yes.
I don't think
You're
do.
still looking for
Well,
players
oh
to fill
yeah,
your
I'm
B
still,
team.
I'm very
Yeah.
much looking for play. Yeah, I didn't have a player in mind. So when you said
Oh,
player, I was like,
sorry.
I do. Like, no, I don't have any players for a second team. We have a full main roster, but we are looking for people to build a second team. And there's a league that does a second team league. So we would play in a league of all second teams, and there's a whole national title. There's money associated with it. So it'd be really fun to run the gauntlet with some people. If you're on campus and you're listening in, please reach out to me. Please reach out to anybody, get in contact.
Or just like join
And
our Discord. Like
that too.
that's where we will put all of our announcements. Our Discord is on our Twitter and our Instagram. I'll shout that out here in a couple seconds. But so yeah, just join our Discord. We put all of our announcements in there for when tryouts are happening, if we have any community events, if we're doing any in-person events. Yeah, it's a good place to be. And we are always looking for more players, regardless of what game you play. If there's a game that you're like, it's kind of niche, but I have a couple friends at UNL or something, and we already have a team going, and you know that there's a competitive scene for it, just join our Discord and we could make a team for you in our club and in our esports org.
Yeah, I mean, for example, we're looking for a Rainbow Six player. We're looking for people to make a Halo team. We're looking for an Apex team. There's a lot that we're wanting to have on the table, but we just don't have the people that play the games yet. And so we're hoping that, everybody out there that's on campus. I mean, this is something that you don't even have to like really pay for. If you have the gear to play, you can play.
If you're already playing.
Exactly. You're already playing. You may as well compete under us and represent your university. We're a registered RSO and all this other stuff. We're getting a facility, which hopefully will be soon. And it'll be soon no matter what. It'll be within the next year. And we're hoping to go to local area events, both here and travel. So, for example, for Call of Duty, Ohio State hosts an invitational LAN every year. Illinois does. So all these different teams host these LAN tournaments where you go and they have a whole setup for you, and you play on a latency lacking setup that is all instantaneous. It's very smooth, and it puts you to the test. It's a real like test your metal kind of situation. And yeah, so if you're looking to compete, if you're looking to play with other people on university, or if you're just wanting to talk about games or anything, just reach out, join the Discord, and yeah, have a great time. And if you're a fan, check us out on our socials, because we will very much enjoy some Husker fan base, some Husker hype. We really appreciate the Husker fan base, and we want to get more involved with them and you guys. So yeah,
you can follow us on Twitter at Esports Nebraska.
Yeah, yes. Twitter is the main one right now for socials. We have an Instagram, we have a TikTok as well, but we are way more active on Twitter. It's just how Twitter is.
Right? Yeah, Twitter is just very much the video game scene. Everybody posts their memes. It's more. I mean, TikTok as well, but we don't have a video editor. So maybe if you really like editing videos and you want to, you can do that.
We got a lot of spots open for a lot of people who, whatever your passion is, if you want to be with us, we're very happy to have you on board and very happy to have you help us out in any way that you wish to help.
Yes.
So we're going to take a break right now. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk a little bit more.
It's Christmas in July at Pillar Restaurant Group when you purchase a $100 gift card and receive a $15 bonus card. One gift card for all of our locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, the Butchery and Venue at Home, and all Lincoln Good Sense subs. Our Christmas in July gift card special is available at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations or online at prgnebraska.com. That's prgnebraska.com to get a $15 bonus card when you purchase a $100 gift card.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Gala Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers.
Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Husker fans, register your kids for the Nebraska Kids Club today. Don't miss your chance to get free tickets, exclusive events, and concessions vouchers for this Husker season. For only $35, your kids can get all of that and more. For more information, visit huskers.com/kidsclub. Do you have a newborn or know someone who does? Their infant membership is the perfect gift for your newest Husker fan. They even have a free membership option. Visit huskers.com/kidsclub today. The Nebraska Kids Club, presented by Hy-Vee.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Join Matt Davis in the studio, president of the 1890 Initiative, Nebraska's NIL operation.
We have some big things that we're going to announce, I think, in the next, few weeks, few months for sure. So I think 1890 and the trajectory for our company is really good. I think we have the ability to have a top, 5 collective in the country. I think we're trending that way.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400. Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
This is Big Red Esports on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Big Red Esports. We were just reading the chat a little bit. We saw Gavin and Z were making some comments, so thank you for that. We love the chat. And my name is Lexi. I'm the social media manager.
I'm Jaden. I'm the Call of Duty game manager.
And I have some updates. It's not really esports, but it's just kind of it's a big game that a lot of people play. It's called Final Fantasy XIV. It's an MMORPG, so it's basically just a gigantic game where people just play. You can do all sorts of things. It's very similar to WoW, World of Warcraft, so if you ever heard of that. It's like that, but in my opinion, it's a lot better. Well, do you have opinions on it?
Well, I mean, they basically took the peak World of Warcraft and
Made it
that because they launched Final Fantasy XIV and it was terrible.
Well,
And then
yeah.
but then the head developer said, "What are we doing wrong?" Looked at WoW and just copied WoW at the time.
Well, I don't think they copied WoW, quote unquote. Both, what I know is that both of the teams are very close, so they talk a lot, and they both share ideas back and forth. So it's a mutual copy. It's not just Final Fantasy copied. It's a mutual sharing of great ideas.
Yeah, well, at the beginning when they were changing everything and fixing and making it all more convenient and less.
It had I think it only was launched for like a couple months and they took it down and like redid everything because it was just really, really bad. But I mean, the developers still give it lots of love. It's definitely getting more love than WoW in my opinion, especially with the storyline. It has an actual consistent storyline. It has great raids. It's got glamours is what they call it, and it's basically just to where you can dress up really however you want to, and it's, you know, you don't buy any in-game currency. It's great. It's a monthly subscription of like $15. So if you're already spending that money in cosmetics on other games, there's no reason why you can't spend it on a game where you don't have to pay any money to get cosmetics and you just have to play the game. But they're having their Final Fantasy XIV Fan Fest, which they do every year in Las Vegas. They get everybody together and they make new announcements and everything of what's happening with the game. And yesterday they just announced that they're doing another expansion, which is kind of, I mean, it's great for the community, especially those who have put in hundreds upon, you know, millions of hours into the game. However, for a new player like me that hasn't even finished the first storyline, I'm screwed. I'm never gonna finish the game. I've come to this conclusion. But it's called Down Trail, and it seems to be more of a sea piratey expansion kind of. There's not much information on it. They just like released a little trailer. It's not anything showing of the gameplay. It's just a cinematic of, you know, they're on a boat and they're talking. Great. And they also announced 2 new DPS classes, which we don't even know what they are yet. They're just saying, hey, we're going to bring 2 new DPS classes, and I think they're going to add another job, which I'm not sure. So it's basically like crafting, gardening, stuff like that, baking. But it's just really interesting, and it seems pretty cool, and I'm excited to see what it brings to the game, but it's a lot for new players, especially if you're diving into it right now. But yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to you though. I got back from a trip, and of course, the first thing that I launch on my computer is not Call of Duty. It's Fallout 76.
Oh, okay.
I have 3 or 4 expansions worth, and the beauty of Fallout 76, all of their expansions have been free, and they will be. It's like a No Man's Sky thing. Yeah. All of their stuff, all of their narrative and everything is free. They do have the Fallout First thing, whatever. But I go back and all of these quests, I'm telling you, like the entire left side of my thing. Have you played a Fallout game?
I haven't played it, but I've watched a lot of gameplay of it, so I do know the interface.
So
yeah,
there's quests that pop up on the right side of your screen. Mine is running off the screen in quests.
Oh my gosh!
I need to untrack quests, but then I end up venturing into those untracked quests where then I have to re-equip them or like reactivate them, and it's so much. It's so chaotic right now, but that's what happens when you join a game and it's, you know, 3-4 years into its lifespan. There's 4 expansions or, you know, tons of new narrative quests that they add all the time. They're doing like there's a summer camp event going on right now where you get a ton of challenges over like a 2-week period. And so I'm doing those on top of everything else. And yeah, so there's a whole lot there. But in terms of new announcements, I was not here to exclaim my excitement for this announcement. But I say they, I don't know the exact studio, but they are remaking Gex, the 90s hit classic Gex, the whole trilogy. I am a little bit of an old head for this. I played them on the PlayStation 1. Such classic games, but they're all the game is think like a 3D Mario, but make it a gecko.
Okay.
And then make all of the quotes 90s pop culture quotes that only an adult would understand. And add on top of that random TV references because take Mario 64, right? Make it a gecko, add some random 90s, you know, like 2D Hot Woman on top of that.
Okay.
And it just as like a side like NPC, and then add so many just random pop culture references from 1995 to 2001, excluding 9/11. And because it came out before 9/11, so that wasn't the thing that they can make edgy jokes about. That's all I'm saying about that. But it's such a classic for me. It's one of the first games I ever played before I had a memory card for my PS2. So I would replay the same missions over and over again.
Gotcha.
And one of the areas is actually it's a Bugs Bunny, like kind of Looney Tunes. It's a Looney Tunes style area, but it's so polygonal that you can tell. But like going back and playing it's like, man, you know, this looked real when I was a kid. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for this game.
Do you think they're gonna make pop culture references now or in the 90s?
That's what I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't know if they're just gonna remaster the original audio dialogue, or if they're gonna remake and just go ham on every pop culture thing happening
Mhm.
right now, which they totally could. There's so many opportunities with the internet now. There's so
Mhm.
many opportunities to just dig at anybody and everybody.
Mhm.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
but
that would be interesting. Speaking of game updates, TF2 added a new thing to where you could have 100 players in a server on a single map. I personally haven't played it. However, I do know someone that saw somebody play it, and they said it was very hectic. Team Fortress 2 is TF2, in case you're wondering. And apparently, it was like nobody could do anything. It's like Rust, but smaller. Like nobody can do anything. Nobody can move. Like nobody can. It's just too compact, and I don't think they thought it through. Like it's old enough to where everybody's PCs and consoles can handle it now. But it just I don't think they really thought out like the size of the maps and like how they're actually gonna do it.
but maybe they did, and they thought
Maybe
this is such a fun idea. It doesn't work, but that's why it works.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
why it's fun. I love that's the kind of thing that I love though, is when something is added that's purely for comedy.
Yeah.
Purely 100 players in a Team Fortress 2 lobby, like 50-50.
Mhm.
Now that would be a great time. I would have so much
Mhm.
it'd be so loud. Just constant gunfire.
Yep.
That is
If that's it, that is
perfection.
even if you like can get past your other teammates to get on the other side to actually see anybody, because it's
Fair
just gonna be
point.
so like hectic and
I mean, then you get all those footstep cues too. The the source engine footstep sound
Mhm.
just over and over.
Mhm.
Oh, that's fun though.
Mhm.
I love
I
that.
I miss games like that to where everything's so like thought out and methodical and very pristine, and I just miss the days where you had the videos on YouTube of people like not necessarily hacking but just finding weird things like I miss Gary Mod so much. Like Gary's Mod, oh, that's such a good game. It was so chaotic, it was so just like crazy, and it was just peak for its time. It really worked well.
If you need a game, any game
Okay.
that is
Are you gonna
not
say BattleBit?
no, any game that is
Alright,
not
don't mention
methodically.
the crab shooter.
No, I'm not mentioning the crab. I'm not
Okay,
mentioning
okay.
Crab Champions. Any Bethesda game, it
Mm.
just works.
Yeah, I
They're so
mean,
methodically thought out that it just works, but it doesn't.
yes, I was gonna say, wait, now let's
Yeah,
let's throw it
it
back.
doesn't. If you're looking for game-breaking bugs,
Mhm.
that's anything they make.
Yes, that is true.
I can't wait for Elder Scrolls to get,
Skyrim, I
and
mean,
Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be so bad for it.
mhm.
We all know it, but it's gonna be so great because of it.
Yeah, I don't know how they just get away with it though. Like they are
It's a
just allowed
trademark.
to make crappy games.
It's a trademark now. I think that's literally a thing that they just have to.
Oh wait, isn't Starfield coming out?
Yeah.
So do you think it's gonna be?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
I mean, you look at the graphics and it just looks like a better space Skyrim.
Gotcha.
I mean, they've got the what's his face, the fan or whatever, like the obsessive fan character from, I think it's Oblivion.
Hmm.
Uh,
And I
Elder
didn't watch
Scrolls
that
4.
much. I've watched a lot of Oblivion, so I
Oh.
wouldn't know.
So yeah, there's basically this obsessive fan that follows you, that'll find you at random points in the game and like obsesses over you.
Gotcha.
It's an annoying character that everybody kind of just laughs at,
Mhm.
but it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing that they kind of just showed off in the trailer and for Starfield.
Mhm.
I'm waiting for the Star Wars mods for Starfield before I play it.
Huh.
I will not elaborate any further.
Why not? What? Like you're just not gonna touch the game? How? It was intended to be played and
Yeah,
everything until
yeah.
they release a Star Wars. Until someone makes a Star Wars mod.
That's what I'm waiting for. I want to see how moddable this game is.
Mm.
And I'm also just too much of a Star Wars nut to not see the opportunity
Mhm.
and want to play it in Star Wars, even though I could totally, like, I'm probably going to play a base game. But by the time that I play it all through base game, I may not want to go back. It's
Mhm.
like me with Fallout 4. I went through all of Fallout 4. I got to level like 250 and had, a million caps and whatever. by the time that mods came around to console, didn't want to play it.
hmm
And now I get Fallout 76, and you can do some like quality of life mods, but there's
Mhm.
not a lot. Like there's no DC-15 blaster rifle from Star Wars or
Mhm.
anything like that, because you can't do that on a
Yeah.
server. But yeah.
So you can mod Final Fantasy 14.
Huh?
You can mod Final Fantasy 14.
With like in what way?
Like you could just mod. Like you can mod your MMORPG, which like doesn't really.
yeah.
It's technically against terms of service, quote unquote. But like,
Oh, okay. Now,
but-
now it makes sense now.
but like the devs are like kind of chill about it, to where if you have mods, like they're only gonna really bust you on it if you're streaming with mods on, or
Okay.
if you're making it well known. Like this is my game named character and I'm in this data server or whatever, and I have these mods on. Like then they'll crack down on you. But if you just have mods in the game, like they really don't care, which is really nice. It's just more of like, if you make it so well known, we kind of have to crack down on you so that we're upholding our terms of services enough. But like we're not gonna brush through all your files and everything to load up the game and kind of see what mods you have, because a lot of people will just do like interface changing where they change the color of the interface, so they'll like download poses that they can do with their friends and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's not anything like too crazy. I'm sure they have a lot of crazy mods. So I just haven't seen anybody with them because you're not really allowed to stream with them or else
Yeah.
you'll get your character banned. But
Okay. It makes sense now. I was asking like what kind of mods, but it's just like quality of life.
it's just a little bit.
or
But again, like I
cosmetic
haven't
and-
seen, it's like nobody can really put out there what
Yeah.
some more of the crazy mods are.
Fair
So
point.
I just don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of
There's
the
something.
Final Fantasy 14 fan base is huge, and people make a living of just making like group pose mods. It's insane.
Oh, I bet.
It's crazy.
Wait, do people pay for these mods?
Yes, some of them do.
Oh my god.
Like so in Final Fantasy 14, there's this thing called group posing, and it's basically like taking screenshots / pictures of your character in the game with like your friends and like dressing them up and
Yeah.
doing poses. It's like basically like like in real life you go to a concert and you pose and take pictures with your friends, but it's in the game instead. And people do this for a living, and people pay other people in Final Fantasy 14 to download mods on like that one character and then take pictures of their character and then have the person send them their pictures of their character posing.
They go through all that?
Yeah.
Like
Because I mean, if
so
you're really
you-
scared of getting like your character banned or something, you can pay somebody else
Okay.
to pose your character for you on their like account, because they have
Oh.
so it's a group posing, so you can like bring other characters into your pose.
I get
basically.
it now. Okay.
And so people pay other people to take pictures for them, like real life currency, and people make a living off of doing this, which is insane to me.
That is insane.
Mhm.
Man, I'm in the wrong industry.
I know, that's what I was saying.
If I can do that, that's crazy. But
Well, just like Sims, you can make a living off of mods, although
true.
EA technically said you can't have mods behind a paywall because it goes against their terms of service, but people still do it. So
No. Yeah, most communities don't have that sort of thing. So that's what got me is like Minecraft. Every mod's free,
Mhm.
or
well, not every mod is free. There's definitely some that
Yeah.
are paid because they're
Yeah.
more like I created a whole new game within Minecraft, basically. Like RL,
Sure.
I don't know if RL Craft is paid, but that's what I would think that it would like one of those
it'd be like
big.
comparable.
Yeah.
But RL Craft is not paid. There's a bunch of mod packs that aren't paid. There's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 99.9% of Minecraft mods are free.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Fallout mods,
Mhm.
I mean, you can just go anywhere. They're all free.
Mhm.
And mind you, most of them don't do anything,
Yeah.
but still, any modding community that I've seen doesn't have anything mostly paid for
Mhm.
that you have to pay for. So that took me by surprise that you have to pay for the mod to group photo, that you get paid to group photo people together.
It's
So-
insane.
It is insane.
And people hash out hundreds of dollars to do this for
Wait,
the
like it's not even like $5. It's like
Well, I mean, I'm sure it depends on like the pose, like how many photos you want, how many different, XYZ. But I mean, people pay good money for it. It's crazy.
that is so wild.
hmm
Well, on that revelation of mine, we're gonna take the break real quick, and we'll see you back in a few minutes.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-9462.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. But there are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Sometimes playing with a healthy fear is good because it makes you go, 100 out. Because the more tentative you are, I always told kids, I said, listen, if you don't like this and you don't want to play, don't play. Because you're going to be worse off and get probably hurt more by being tentative in your play as opposed to playing all out.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Big Red Esports on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. Well, we are back for the last few minutes of this hour, but we probably will go another hour today.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we need to reintroduce ourselves. It's only been a few minutes. And so we're going to launch right into it. I wanted to kind of talk about maybe some of the challenges of college esports and how, as a game manager and player, it has been an interesting challenge trying to find some more players to play with. Because most of our players actually come from the club fair. A couple of years ago, 5 of us all kind of got onto the club from then. And it was more so Caden Zythos at the time, who was the founder of the Call of Duty team and absolute legend. I love that guy. he's so good at the game. He's been a mentor to me.
Mhm.
Great guy. But he had a random community night. It's like one of the few times we've actually been able to get a community night
Mhm.
and have people show up.
Mm.
And so that's where me, Cloudsy, Zeebs, and Sully all at the same time joined the team. It was after the competitive season was already over for Cold War.
Mhm.
So we all played then, and he did tryouts in fall and said, all right, we're going to take, all of you. And I kind of was one of two odd men out.
Mhm.
So we subbed in a couple times because he just wanted to give us reps. But that's after that we got Hinder the next year,
Mhm.
and that was the only recruit we got. So the challenge has been now I've been talking to people around the country on Twitter and all these different social media things, trying to get people to come here.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, a lot of people are my exact age or like in their last year of college, like their last couple of years. And so they're already on a college COD team.
Yeah.
They want to finish out their undergrad, but they want to come here for their graduate school and continue to play college COD
Mhm.
here in 2 years. And so trying to make a second team has been really hard because I'm going to be the odd guy out, unfortunately, because I can't split those guys up. They're
Yeah.
so good. And so I'm trying to build the team to play around, and it's been a challenge for me. And so now I'm thinking, we have to go around and what we were going to do anyway, which is interact more with campus and outreach and stuff like that with posters, and hopefully get on those bulletin boards with some of those, pull off paper things
Oh,
with like
yeah.
our Discord on them
Or you
or
just do a
Twitter
QR
or something.
code.
QR code,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mhm.
And, just reach out in any sort of way. So the challenge really is making ourselves known
Yeah.
on campuses, which in part is what we do here,
Mhm.
is getting out to both the fan base and people on campus. But it's just been an interesting challenge so far.
It's definitely hard trying to make ourselves a team when we don't really have little to no funding, pretty much.
True.
Especially right now as we're trying to talk to sponsors and actually get funding so we can really build that arena for us and for us to have a space to even like do all of our fun stuff that we want to do for the team. But it's definitely hard trying to build a team from the ground, not necessarily from the ground up, but just from a college that has a more focus on traditional sports like football and volleyball. Like all of their focus really goes towards that pretty much. And it's hard to market ourselves to these college students who probably have touched a video game but don't really know what actual esports is and what it can do for them possibly.
Yeah.
It's a little bit hard. And like if you want to help market us, you can reach out to us on Discord or Twitter. I'm always looking for more people to help with socials. If you love making memes, I will take you on right now. I love that. But it's definitely hard trying to be a student-run organization run by students for students.
Yeah.
And having basically one to two adults, I would say.
Yeah, 1 to 2 adults probably is a good. I think that's good, right? Like a
Mhm.
couple of adults, but I mean, it's not impossible, right?
Yeah.
We've had great teams in the past and now,
Mhm.
and that's all on campus, and that's something to be, proud of
Mhm.
for sure. But when we try to grow and expand and try to pull in to get more people, it's challenging because you realize how finite your internal resources are, and you realize how important on-campus recruiting is when you start looking elsewhere, and how challenging that is too. Because a lot of players, especially from what I've seen, they only want to come here for the scholarship money, which makes sense. Everybody's kind of in a bind.
Yeah.
I'm in a bind. But
I think we're very lucky that we actually have the opportunity to offer scholarships, since
That
I
too.
know a lot of teams, like I know Iowa probably doesn't offer scholarships.
Well, no.
And so to be one of those few couple schools around, and I'm sure we're not just a few, like I'm sure there's quite a lot of schools that offer a little bit of money, but we're finally at the point where we can say that we can offer scholarships for this to kind of start team building. And again, this is our first year of offering scholarships, so this upcoming year will be completely new. It'll be whole new territory that we're dipping our toes into, which will be very, very
Yeah.
fun, I think.
Yeah. Another interesting thing that we're having right now is where we have a lot of older heads that have been here and have
Mhm.
played to play for passion and stuff like that. And then we have people coming in and playing on scholarship. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how that interacts and how people who don't necessarily live or aren't from Nebraska, how they interact and how that culture kind of builds and how we can build culture. That's going to be the next step, is how do we, especially for me on the COD team, is something I've thought about, is we're just starting. This is our beginning, and we're setting a precedent with this team, with my guys. What is that precedent? What are we carrying over? What is something that will keep this team going on the same identity, on the same path, with the same drive after these players have gone, after I've gone or I'm not playing anymore or what have you? What is the identity that we want to set? And the challenge now is, how do I find people like that fit that description, that play well enough? There's so many different challenges to take on, and building a second team around those ideas, trying to build up a second team to then shift into main team when these players are gone, it's a lot. It's been a lot that I've thought about and I've tried to solve all summer, but sometimes things are just really hard, and it's hard to get through. So
Well, I don't think any team is going to be like any other team. Every team's going to
No.
be different. Every team is going to act differently, and you're not going to have one team that's exactly the same, that has the same like morals, same schedule, same XYZ. You're always going to have to figure ways around it, especially in this industry, to where we're not together a lot in person. Most of it is practicing in your dorm room, in your apartment, in your house, wherever you're living, and you're just on Discord. You're in voice, like you're in game chat, and that's just it's going to be a lot of moving parts. It's going to be a lot of trial and error, and I'm just kind of really excited to see how this goes. This is our test year. It'll really push us to our limits and say, what can we do? What can we improve? What do we need to stall back on a little bit? Do we need to add more people in this area, in this area? Do we need to subtract a team if it's, if that's pulling away funding from it? Like, it'll be definitely the time to where we see where our limits are.
yeah, I think one of my main hopes too is the teams that we do have, the teams that we compete with. I want to see us go to more local or just LAN tournaments in general this year, or participate in more tournaments. Just get more eyes, right? Get more eyes, get more established in the scene, in any of our scenes that we're dipping our toes in. Especially I want the Call of Duty team to go on some more tournaments, but the challenge there is funding, time. People have classes, people have homework over the weekend, and readings, and all these different things. And where we're all 3 out of the 4 of the main team are seniors in their final year. That's another thing to keep in mind, of that may not be time that we have available, but I just hope that we can talk about it, and we're going to figure it out soon, what we all want to do for fall. And we'll be back soon to talk more about this in the next hour.
Y'all feeling lucky? Luke Combs here, and I have an exclusive opportunity for you to win $500,000 by joining me in the Living Lucky with Luke Combs lottery experience. When it rains, it pours for lucky fans and lottery players who enter to win a chance of a lifetime. Join me in Nashville for a private concert at the iconic Ryman Auditorium in 2024. One lucky winner will have the chance to walk away with $500,000 at the end of the show.
Details at nelottery.com. Living Lucky with Luke Combs ticket. Top prize odds 1 in 128,000.
The Nebraska soccer team wants to see you this fall at Hibner Stadium for their 2023 season. Season tickets are on sale now. Reserve your spot to cheer on the Huskers as they take on some of the best teams in the Big Ten and around the country. Opponents include Missouri, Wisconsin, St. Louis, and more. To buy tickets, go to huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED. They have a full season of fun set for this fall. For promotional information, visit huskers.com.
UStop is a proud member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why UStop sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the Ticket 93.7. Remember, every time you fill up at a UStop on a Tuesday, UStop donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, UStop has partnered with Tabitha Meals on Wheels. Stop by UStop and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Spring is here and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Husker fans, register your kids for the Nebraska Kids Club today. Don't miss your chance to get free tickets, exclusive events, and concessions vouchers for this Husker season. For only $35, your kids can get all of that and more. For more information, visit huskers.com/kidsclub. Do you have a newborn or know someone who does? Their infant membership is the perfect gift for your newest Husker fan. They even have a free membership option. Visit huskers.com/kidsclub today. The Nebraska Kids Club, presented by Hy-Vee.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Pass the sticks to the Nebraska Esports Squad as they take you on a journey through the wonderful world of video games. Right here on Big Red Esports on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. Well, we're back for the second hour, halfway through the good old quest, the weekly journey, and we're kind of just hanging out right now.
What's your name? Let's reintroduce ourselves.
Yeah,
first.
that's good point. Good point. I'm Jaden. I'm the Call of Duty game manager.
And I'm Lexi. I'm the social media manager. Welcome back to Big Red Esports. During the break, we were kind of talking about a TikTok trend that's happening right now.
We are talking about it. Okay.
And well, listen.
Yeah.
I think it's noteworthy to bring up just because there's a single video game term in it, and it's basically, I think it's called like NPC or something. I don't know the exact terminology about it, but it's basically where people will go on TikTok Live, and when people send them gifts or something, they will respond to the gifts with the same exact like quote and like movement. So one of them is like people will send you rose, they go, like good rose or something, and it's just and they'll just do that over and over and over for like hours. But these people are making like thousands of dollars doing it, and I think it's just so funny. I just don't know how somebody came up to do it. I don't know. And it's not even like related to video games all that much, except for that it's just they're trying to act like NPCs. To where if you send them the same thing, you ask them the same question, they're gonna respond the same way, the same time, every like, you know. I don't know. Would you do it?
No.
Why not?
I already have enough mental dissonance, you know, going on. I'm not trying to question if I'm a man or a muppet, if you know what I mean. I'm just, and also, yeah, I just couldn't bring it'd be so hard not to just physically cringe for 3 hours.
Okay, but if you're making like $2,000 an hour,
Okay.
would you not do it?
Would you take the high paying corporate job over anything that makes you happy?
Can you get into a high paying corporate job right now in your career?
No.
Okay, well, there you go. If I can make more money doing that than at my real full-time job, then I would do it.
Yeah, but are you
Especially-
doing it right now?
No,
Would you?
I don't know. You would have to really convince me to do it. It's like, would I rather stream or would I rather act as an like I'd rather stream on Twitch first before I would do this and just see where that gets me.
But there's also the fact that you have to build up 1,000 followers before you can even go live on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the whole. Yeah.
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's been a thing. There used to be an actual video trend where it was make me, or like you post a video, it's like give me to 1,000 so I can go live. I am changing the world, and it's just one dude sitting there.
Yeah, I
should-
always see people on my TikTok where they like scroll through their live feed and it's just like really random stuff. Like, do you ever see the guy that was like peeling an eggshell off of the egg and like trying to keep it intact? You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the actual stream of that. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A good challenge.
TikTok is just a whole nother realm of social media.
It really is. They'll do anything.
Like
to-
I love it for how chaotic. Like I feel like it's becoming the new Twitter. Like especially with Elon and everything that Elon is doing. I don't want to talk about it, but I feel like I need to talk about it.
It's X now, actually.
Oh my god. And so Elon was trying to take down the sign of Twitter one day or something, but he didn't get a permit to do it. And so they had to like stop, like the police had to be like, you don't have a permit to have this construction like machine on the sidewalk, like you need to stop what you're doing. And then of course he got a permit the next day. He put up X, like the sign X. He took down one side of the Twitter sign, and there's still the other side of the Twitter sign on the other side of the building still up.
Well, the iOS app hasn't even like updated to have any of that.
Some
iconography yet.
people's have. Mine hasn't yet, and I'm not updating it until
No.
it absolutely does it for me. And in Indonesia, they had to ban X because like X is affiliated
Yeah.
with adult content.
Of course. Yes.
And that's the whole reason why that the people in PayPal, like Elon wanted to rename PayPal to X, but they were
Yeah.
like, no, studies show X has a very negative connotation. And now he's just going to ruin his decades old branding that this company already has, like such good branding. It's recognizable that when people see the bird, they know that it's Twitter, and he's just ruining this whole branding that's already been built up. I'm really heaved by this. I'm really peeved.
Well, I mean, he it's so hard. It's like it's not even hard. It's just painful to watch
Mhm.
because if you were to take Nebraska, right? The N, the iconic N, change it to an X.
Right.
And it has no connotation to anything else about
Mm-mm.
anything. And all of a sudden Husker Sports becomes like completely like his goal for the app is something
completely different.
Completely different.
Well, if Nebraska renamed or like changed their logo to an X, I'm sure Memorial Stadium would be burned down in a week. Like I'm sure the fans would like storm.
They'd skip the stadium. They go straight to probably the Capitol. They're like, you did this. The state, because I mean they're practically the same thing
Mhm.
in a lot of people's brain, right? Huskers and the state government are both that important. Huskers probably more so, but it'd be like the Cornhuskers changing to something like some random.
It'd be like Iowa. Like, why would you? What's the connotation there? What?
Yeah.
Like, why would you name it to Iowa? Like, just anything that doesn't have.
It has no.
It has no
relation to anything.
marketability at all.
No.
Because it's studies have shown that people view it negatively already.
Yeah.
That have been done in like the 80s or the 90s. And it's just because you have money and you want to buy it out and you're going to ruin another company.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Whatever. He has the money to do this. He's going to do it.
Yeah,
Or this is all just another marketing scheme and he's just doing this for the time, then he's going to go back on his word and it's just another marketing scheme. That's like it's either he's doing this because like he thinks that this is going to bring more people to it because it's going to be a marketing thing and he's going to retract his statements. You're like, no, I'm actually going to go back and like rename it Twitter because I understand the fans. Or he's just doing this because he has a love for X.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think that he tried to do it with PayPal as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now on Twitter, you can tell who's just completely following Elon because of the whole Dogecoin thing and all that.
Yeah.
Because they're immediately coming out of the woodwork like, this is the greatest decision of a business I've ever seen. Wall Street bets, invest in X.
I have Elon blocked on Twitter. I couldn't deal with his tweets anymore. I just couldn't. I was sick of getting them on my feed even though I wasn't following him. So I was like, I'm sorry. Watch me get like banned now because I
Oh no. Yeah. off of Twitter. But I mean, it's also, but to bring this back to esports, this will be very interesting to see what this change does in terms of networking, in terms of all these different things for how players play each other, play against each other, find scrimmages, connect with each other.
Well, right now it hasn't had that much impact on.
Well, yes, but he's trying to change the app into like a one size fits all for everything. You're supposed to be able to do everything through this app, which won't work out. I doubt it. Because when you have so many different options on so many different things, the load that's going to put on servers, on everything else is going to be undoable.
Yeah.
But to take this site, this platform that has been purely for instant updates, networking, finding people to do things, especially in the esports scape, it's been a huge contributor to the scene of esports in the United States of America. And now we're seeing it possibly stray from what has made it this good, has made the grassroots version of esports as well so sustainable. Straying away from that is going to be very interesting to see how we can really operate without that platform, or do we find another platform? Or
well, I do know that you have Threads. It's okay. It's not the best. It's still very much in its baby stages. And you also have Blue Sky, which is what the original creators of Twitter has made. It's an invite-only platform right now because I think they're just testing it, but it's basically Twitter. It's just Twitter, just called something else because the creators of Twitter was like, something bad is probably going to happen, so we're going to make it. But it's an invite-only platform right now. So, I mean, we could shift to that, and we already seen people on Threads. It had like 50,000 people on it within like the first 2 days or something. Like it was like 50 million. Sorry, it was like 50 million people on Threads in like the first 2 days or something, which is insane. But people aren't switching over to it yet to use it on a daily basis. It's not becoming that ritual thing of I go on my phone, I go through Instagram, I go through Facebook, I go through Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not, people don't go, I go on Threads.
Well, it's also losing its traction as well. And I mean, I think we need a social media platform like Blue Sky that's not made by Zuck or Musk or
anybody else.
Those that
billionaires.
group, that small group of people that feel like they have all the greatest business decisions, but really don't know what they're trying to build.
Yeah.
Which Blue Sky seems like probably the better option.
Yeah, people
anyone.
have been. I see a lot of people in the video game industry, whether it be reporters or developers or community managers. They'll be like, "Here's my Blue Sky account. Ask me for like an invite code," because I think they only have like X amount of invite codes to invite to people. And the video game community is already being very welcoming to Blue Skies. They're giving out the like these people that have like 100,000 of followers are giving out free invite codes to just whoever comments first or whatever. So they're already being very welcoming, which is great.
That's nice.
But it's not going to become another Twitter until they make it
Open
to everybody.
Yeah.
Which maybe they're just trying to monetize. Maybe they're trying not to get in trouble with Musk or something. If it's too similar to Twitter right now, maybe that's why they're making it invite only to say, well, it's invite only, so it's not like Twitter where it's open. It's,
You want to know something also that's very interesting? Apparently, last I heard, iOS does not allow an app name to be less than 2 characters.
That's funny.
So X has not been
Updated for that.
updated the thing because
He really did not think this through.
No, he didn't. He really looked at nothing and said, it's getting changed to X.
Well, this is why I think that this has to be a marketing scheme. Like, he has to be doing this
Yeah.
to then retract it and just gain more traction in the news. Because I reported it for the news. I've been like, hey, Musk is, I've run something in my rundown for this, for Musk. So it's gaining traction, but it has to, if it's not a marketing ploy, then I think he's running in the wrong direction, unfortunately.
Well, he's running down.
Yeah, he's just. I wish he kind of just would have stuck to Tesla. It would have been great. And his space stuff. Is he still doing space stuff? Do we know?
Yeah,
that?
I mean he's doing all that, but he's also okay. We're gonna go in a little bit deep into Elon Musk for a second here.
Okay.
I've followed this whole thing for a while.
Mhm.
He didn't have the idea for the drills. He didn't have the idea for anything that he's done. He's stolen it from the engineers. He only is like an executive figure and claims to be like Tony claims to be Tony Stark, but just got that reputation.
Yeah.
He's only had business ideas and he's lucky that PayPal worked because after that, what was it? The Boring Company, the tunnel, like the traffic tunnels in Vegas, completely ineffective. And he knew that. The high-speed rail that's going on in California right now, Elon Musk tried to make Hyperloop. Hyperloop doesn't even exist and it's not even practical.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of any of these things.
So he pushed Hyperloop for the longest time, aware that it was ineffective and not really physically possible, to slow down the process of beginning construction on high-speed rail in California, because he just didn't want it to be built, because he wanted Tesla to have more cars and all of that. So it's so interesting to me why, because he admitted to it later too. He admitted to Hyperloop not being effective and just using it to try to keep his cars, because California is a very popular place for Tesla cars. I mean, with all the money flow there, it's just, and plus it's also one of the more green states that's kind of legislating toward that direction.
Well, the mayor announced that she's going to add more like charging sites and everything, and she's looking into putting more funding into green energy and cars and electric stations, stuff like that here in Lincoln. So I mean, we could see a boom in the next 5 so years or whatever too, but that's I mean, that's still brand new. It's not like in California where
but it's also my last thing on this, it's also interesting. Electric cars aren't actually that much more environmentally effective
the
because
lithium batteries.
the batteries and the mining process for the lithium batteries, the refining process, the fact that once that battery's done, you got to toss it, it's got to go somewhere, and then you have a whole dead car, right? You can't, I don't think you can replace the battery on those, can you?
I don't know.
I've not seen that. So in all these parts, these pieces that are electric all take these rare components that can only be mined in specific areas, mostly in China. And that just creates this whole thing of, we're trying to solve a problem by creating a new one. It's not effective. Whereas high-speed rail would be.
Yes.
Because it's self-sustaining electricity, because it has recharging braking systems, and it's infinitely faster too.
I mean, look at
you're going
Japan. I mean,
200 plus.
Japan has high-speed rails and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And they have a great train system.
Yeah. but we're just so infrastructurally built for cars that it's
Yeah.
hard to revert that too.
Yeah, the car. If you ever want to dive into the car industry, there's a lot in the car
There's a
industry.
lot.
I'm waiting for a water powered car that uses like, because we can get energy through waves.
Yeah.
It's very prevalent that we can already do that. So I'm waiting for a car just to do that.
Well,
I already know. I think I know what you're gonna say.
I mean, the last time we tried to have a car,
The guy died.
Yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Mysteriously.
Yeah. So, in case you don't know about this, there was a man who basically, I don't remember his name, but he built a water-powered car, and mysteriously, within like the next month or so, he just died.
Well, history major here.
Oh, okay,
So
there you go.
more detail. So early car age. We're talking Henry Ford, General
Yeah,
Motors.
I think it was after that.
It was well, no, it was early on. Oil industry really big on gasoline because of the new gas consumption. It was affordable car at time, so it was after Ford had created the conveyor belt with the assembly line, and General Motors approached the guy that made the water, and it was in Europe, and they went into the restaurant, and the guy wasn't seen after entering the restaurant with the guys from General Motors. So. And then the planes mysteriously disappear, and
So,
there's
yeah.
no sign of any of it. We know how to make the engine though. Generally, it's just not economically effective right now because of certain things. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's an interesting. We kind of went on a rabbit hole there, but
Thanks,
yeah,
Elon.
yeah. But with all this going on, it's just a lot to think about in terms of how do we adjust for esports in terms of the new social media changes going on with especially going forward brand wise with KOSA. If KOSA passes, where everybody, no matter if they're like a social media manager, if they're anybody, everywhere that you'd have to go, according to KOSA, which is a bill that's in it passed committee, and it's Kids Online Safety Act. And essentially what it does is it forces everybody on the internet from the United States or elsewhere to put in their driver's license every time they want to post something. And essentially would identify where you are at that exact moment, who you are, how old you are, and then say what you're posting about. And it would give attorney generals the ability to censor whatever they deem to be dangerous to kids.
Is that a state by state basis?
No,
for
that
kids?
is federal.
No. Gotcha.
That is federal.
I haven't heard anything about this, so I'll have to look into it. But
Yeah, it's definitely something that'd be something I'd say, hey, everybody go talk to, your representatives, go talk to your senators. This is something we don't want to pass because that's, censorship on the highest level. And, but that would also be an impedance for us as an organization. That would be an impedance
because
for everybody.
then we wouldn't really have a would
No.
I have to input my driver's license then to then post on our esports org?
Yeah, that'd be what we'd have to do every time we ever want to post. And then they know I say they. Everybody would know, and then the other part of that too is with how fluent hackers are with everything, that data would get leaked so fast.
That is true.
It'd be leaked everywhere. Everybody be after it. Identity theft would be at new highs. It'd be an interesting problem. And so that's another obstacle that we'd have to overcome, but hopefully that won't pass. And
and I would say go to Reddit, but Reddit's kind of
well, it'd be anywhere on the internet.
well, no, I'm just saying, like, just going back to Twitter with X. Sorry, X.
Yes.
Everything that's happening in the X, I would say go to Reddit, but with everything with the Reddit CEO about AI and everything that's happening with that, and r/place just got just ended, I think, recently, or if it is
It
still
just
going? It just ended, and I believe the mods for that
ended with
whiting out, saying the F word and then the CEO's name, which is Speds. Speds. So they basically blocked out a chunk of the. If you don't know what r/place is, it's basically a canvas where people can go on and put one single pixel on a board every 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a thing that they did. It used to be
year over year.
It used to be like every 3 to 4 years, I think they did it, and now it just like last year became really popular on Twitch, so they just brought it back this year, and I think it's going to become a more yearly thing.
Yeah.
But they've ended it by cutting out some of the canvas and saying "F you, speds," because of all the AI stuff that he's trying to get. And is it AI or is it?
Well, it's AI, and he also wanted to take the API, and he wanted to charge for the use of the Reddit API, kind of how Elon Musk did that for Twitter. They're both pushing for getting more revenue from these API changes, and Reddit API is huge on the site because you need it for any sort of bot, any sort of anything. So charging for that would, I mean, vastly increase their stuff, but it also takes away from people that don't necessarily have any money or don't want to pay for making new bots or whatever it may be.
And I just, especially with Twitter and buying verification, I think it's really stupid. I think and even for like it's really bad, especially for news and like accuracy when it comes to stuff like that, because anybody can buy a verification and say, I am this real person.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I could become Nicki Minaj in 2 seconds if I just bought a verification and said I'm Nicki Minaj, even though I'm not Nicki. Clearly, I'm not Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
And if places like Reddit, I really don't think Instagram is going to do it. I think they already see that it's negatively impacted a lot of people. But I feel like because Elon is starting to make these changes to Twitter, that we're going to start seeing a lot more of these changes to other social media because of what he's doing. And people are like, oh, he can get away with it. Well, why can't we get away with it?
Yeah, it's just a lot of interesting challenges in the social media space that make the future of esports a little bit questionable in terms of outreach and how we will overcome those challenges. But we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about challenges in esports in the next few minutes.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins.
If you're an electrician, we've got a career for you. It's a career with employer-paid health care and retirement benefits. Join the IBEW Local 265 family. Work for one of our NECA contractors. Come to our job fair on August 3rd from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Holiday Inn, 2500 Tamarind Ridge Road in Southwest Lincoln. For more information, call Mike Murray at 402-875-1034. That's 402-875-1034.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club, or space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margarita like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over. Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
You deserve the best. With a Liberty First MasterCard, you can pay down your high-rate debt and could save hundreds when you transfer the balance. The Liberty First Credit Union MasterCard has no balance transfer fees, no cash advance fees, and no annual fee. And with a fixed rate as low as 9.99% APR and you choose rewards, you'll be able to manage your card your way. Visit libertyfirstcu.com. Rates and terms are based on your credit and subject to change. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
This is Big Red Esports on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. 1:30 p.m. Going just fine, going smoothly. We're having a couple rants, couple talks about some things and connecting it to esports, which is a very fast-growing thing in this state, especially the high school level. So what I wanted to talk about now is how us at the college level, how we can affect and positively impact the high school scene for the better.
Yeah.
And so something that Sully's my co-game manager for Call of Duty, we talk about every now and then is, man, this year when we get a facility, we should run a high school tournament for Call of Duty because it's a great recruiting tool. And then I started thinking, well, we should just host more tournaments in general across every game to help grow the scene, grow awareness for these teams, but also to show that we exist at the next level. There is a pathway to the next stage. And from especially college, you can go anywhere. You can go semi-pro, pro, that track. You can enter the Gamecaster, right? The
Cantor production, social media, development into video games, even if you just play esports.
Yeah, and that the other thing too is something that ties in deeply is also the growth of high school media production programs. I was thankful to be part of an early rendition of Kearney High's Go Bearcats, and it was great to just follow that. And I've been able to keep in contact with the teacher from that. He's been a great mentor to me. And that's where I learned how to do Photoshop and Premiere Pro and all these things. I make random memes sometimes. And I just, now that I know how to do those, because I did random ads for Little Caesars for like the big board or what have you. It was all these little things, little ads, videos, whatever that we did for the sports teams. And I know now that they're working with the esports club at Kearney High to produce and live stream, shoutcast, all these different things as another learning tool. And so I have gone and talked to him and been, saying, hey, if anybody's interested in continuing this in college, come here. We're looking for people like that. We're looking for people to have that passion. And so part of growing the scene in this state is going to be just building that high school passion more. And that means we have to get involved. We have to talk to them more. We have to connect with them more. And I think that's something that I've been working on a little bit. It's been hard with so much to do, so much to talk about. It's hard to keep up with everybody and go places and talk to people. And that's why, outreach officers are important. And as a game manager, we're trying to set up, tournaments at the college and high school level. So it's a lot, but I'm just, really thinking about that, about, the in-state passion, bringing it up to Nebraska, because we have some of the best players. I will admit, like, we have some of the best players in state across the country in terms of collegiate scene. We've seen it before with Valorant at the college level. We've seen it before with Call of Duty in this past year. I love that I get to keep the same guys. They're great, and we're going to take a huge step forward. I already know it. And we've seen it with Smash and all these different things. We have so many great recruits as well that are coming into the program from the high school level, because they've already been conditioned in competitive esports. They already know how to lock in. They already know how they can just do it.
I think we're very fortunate in Nebraska to have a really big high school organization. It's called the NSCSA, and I had the very fortunate opportunity to interview two of their head people, and they really, really are passionate about getting young teams, even from they're trying to even start elementary stuff too, and just even get those young of kids together, because it teaches not only communication, but it teaches life skills of being able to accept defeat and being able to manage your temper and your anger and know how to deal with law. It just is a great organization at CSA. They work with over 70 high schools across Nebraska in total, and they hold a state tournament every single year at Concordia. And I know we had some people go there to cast this year representing UNL Esports. So they are just fantastic when it comes to connecting, and now we have to do that as colleges.
We should. That's something I've thought about too, is we need to connect with the other colleges in the scene and grow that as well. Have a tournament, at least one, right? And be more connected, talk more at the level that we are, not just the head level, not just the director level. We should be interacting more as players and growing the connection in the state more. But the benefits that we can give at our level to the high school level is when we get a facility, for example, or we get an area, we get more funding, more pay, that sort of thing. That really just sets the bar for the high school level and allows those coaches to focus more on the kids, focus less on finding the money, trying to raise money to ride the bus to the tournaments, or fund the fee to enter online tournaments or do online matches, and all these things. That a lot of it is there's a high entry fee into the scene, and it's hard to get into it. But as soon as you do, it's really sustainable if you make it sustainable. And once you get to the point where you get especially at the school level, I think schools are great. They're a great place for it, because there's already an established fan base. There's already going to be people. All you have to do is say, do you like this game? Do you like this school? Like, do you like Valorant? Do you like Nebraska? Watch Nebraska play Valorant against Iowa, Colorado, South Dakota, anybody regional, or Michigan State. You could say Texas even. I want to play Texas really bad. But all these different things, and it's a whole new world for anybody that's even semi interested in anything to do with video games. You can watch these people, these kids, just have the time of their life. It is a dream. It really is just a dream in terms of being able to, as a player, know that I can represent my school in this kind of way, in a new scene, in a new sport, and be one of those first people to go through this kind of a program at this level, especially.
I know, talking to some high school coaches in Nebraska, that high schools are willing to, high schools are already hashing out money to these teams to get equipment or to go to tournaments and stuff. They're already receiving funding. And I think that was also a really big driving push for college, especially for us. I think that was a big push, because I think we kind of made the argument of what high schools are growing very quick. They're already receiving funding from their school districts. So why can we not meet their level? Why can we not get up there? Why can't we?
There's no reason why we shouldn't be at that level or higher. But something to note here too is a lot of what I've seen is in the Omaha Lincoln area, and outside of that area, it gets higher and higher difficulty because of less funding and all this stuff
Smaller
to allocate.
schools,
Yeah.
yeah.
So at Kearney High, I know that the pay, there's not a lot going in, and I mean, they've been very successful competitively. Nonetheless, they go to state, and I believe they won StarCraft in the winter tournament last year, and they have some of the best StarCraft players, which is crazy that the scene is still going in this state. It's beautiful. I love it. But and that's something that we need to add at the college level and find a place for them to compete and all that. But we'll get to that, right? It's so refreshing to see that there is a high school level. There is this thing, and now that we know that it exists, we should really focus on cultivating it and making sure that it can grow to the next stage, because right now it is still, I mean, and it doesn't need to be anything insane. It doesn't need to be any, crazy thing, but it should be able to get bigger and still keep the grassroots, still keep that same thing that it has, and open more doors for people, especially more doors for more kids. Because the thing with esports that really inspires me is when you think about it, we're accessing a whole nother group of kids that don't usually get coaching. They don't usually get this level of team bonding or any sort of teamwork. They're to the most extent, their teamwork in high school is group projects and stuff like that. So to be able to access this group, to be able to give this demographic of kids somewhere to call home, some community to be a part of, and for us to be a part of that and to help cultivate that, I feel like it adds a little bit more pressure, but it gives a drive to want things to be better for the scene at the high school and college level, because especially at college, anybody that had any community usually comes here without one. And for us to be a place for them to go, to call home, to call safe when they love video games as much as the rest of us do, it's just something to keep, it's something that keeps me going.
And also it's just really refreshing that it doesn't matter. Like, boys and girls can play on the same team. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like football, maybe once in a blue moon you'll have a girl that's like a kicker or something, but it's very rare in quote unquote traditional sports to have a mixed gendered team. Versus in esports, it doesn't matter. As long as your skill is good enough, you're going to be on that team.
Yeah.
Which is also really refreshing. And like you said, I would have loved something like this in high school. I'm from Elkhorn High School. We did not have anything like this when I was there, at least not that I knew of. Maybe there was a team or something, but it wasn't even like mainstream enough for us to cover it in our yearbook.
Yeah.
That I knew of. And so to have something like that in high school would have been amazing. To be able to go there after classes and talk about these video games and play with my friends and connect with other people, like not only just at my high school, but in other high schools would have been amazing. And that's why, like, NSESA, if you're a high school student and you're looking to get involved more into esports, NSESA has a Twitter, they have a Discord. It's like pretty much all high school students with a couple of coaches and everything. I would definitely look into that. And I don't know how much it is to register your high school, but if you have a group of friends or something and you want to compete in competitive esports, go on their website and you can contact one of their people and sign up for it. And everybody there is so welcoming, they're so warm, and they just want to get as many teams as they can across Nebraska.
Yeah. So sharing a little bit more before we go to a quick break. It started, at least I was lucky enough that I was at Kearney High for the first couple of years. It was a bunch of my close friends that started it actually at Kearney High. And it was just Smash Bros at the time. It was just Smash Bros. And they go to these tournaments in Lexington and all across, central Nebraska. And they ended up winning state that year because it was a small pool, but it was also, just they won state for Smash. And there wasn't much else at the time. But the way that it's grown so fast, there's definitely more people. And if you're anywhere out there, you're seeing this in a clip, you're seeing this anywhere. If you love esports at the high school level, if you are a high school kid and you want to create a team, you've got your buddies on Rainbow, anything, talk about it. Talk about making a club, because there's more of you than you probably expect. And find a sponsor. There's going to be somebody, especially robotics teachers. they'll hook you up.
Computer teachers, yeah.
Computer science teachers, anybody. Just there's going to be some guy, some guy or gal that has a huge passion for games and is one of your teachers, and they'll be very happy to sponsor you, and they'll do their best to make the best situation for you.
Because I'm sure they would have loved something like that in high school too.
Yeah, exactly. It's something to really think about. And once you get going, we're obviously going to do the best that we can to set a great example and to interact with you guys as best as possible. And we'll do everything we can to help you guys too.
And don't feel free to reach out on our Discord.
Exactly.
We have high school students currently in there that are talking to us about stuff. And also, if you're a high school student and you just want to learn a bit more about esports in general, join our Discord. Everybody's very friendly. Z, I know, is very responsive. I know, Jaden, you're also very responsive. Just join our Discord.
Yeah,
There's
and
no harm.
Any questions at all, just send them our way, and we'll answer them as best as we can and help you with anything that we can. So we're going to go to a quick break before we say our last goodbyes here in the last 10 minutes or so. So next few minutes, you're going to have some ads.
See you after the break.
Yeah.
Place to be this summer, and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Y'all feeling lucky? Luke Combs here, and I have an exclusive opportunity for you to win $500,000 by joining me in the Living Lucky with Luke Combs lottery experience. When it rains, it pours for lucky fans and lottery players who enter to win a chance of a lifetime. Join me in Nashville for a private concert at the iconic Ryman Auditorium in 2024. One lucky winner will have the chance to walk away with $500,000 at the end of the show.
Details at nelottery.com. Living Lucky with Luke Combs ticket top prize odds 1 in 128,000.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins. Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times. If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400.
Up your kitchen game with Kitchen Tune-Up. With experienced, creative, and dedicated technicians on their team, Jason, Ron, and the team bring your kitchen dreams to life. Say goodbye to outdated spaces and hello to a renewed personalized kitchen that will make you the envy of your friends, neighbors, and family. Experience quality craftsmanship and exceptional customer service when you choose Kitchen Tune-Up. Visit kitchentuneup.com/Lincoln-NE today or call 402-200-4697 and achieve the kitchen tune-up of your dreams.
This is Big Red Esports on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Big Red Esports. We're kind of in our last segment. My name is Lexi Carollo. I'm a social media manager.
I'm Jaden Schilke. I'm the Call of Duty co-game manager.
And we don't really know what to talk about, so
Yeah, we're just gonna hang out here for a few minutes, chat about whatever comes to mind. Yeah, so
I know Notorious B.I.B. had a couple comments on our text line about how new games kind of confuse him.
Yeah, I mean,
which
that's
is fair, especially if you're used to older games, and
Well, it takes me a good, I mean, I usually get into the new Call of Duty with the campaign to get used to the new engine, but that's more specific. So when I started Destiny, right, for the first year, I had no idea how the game worked. I just go to the same place. I go to the Cosmodrome Patrol Zone because that's all I knew existed, unless I got pulled by my friend to do something else. And then I'd be like, whoa, what is this? No idea how any of it worked. And I mean, that was, oh no, that was 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Well, just like anything, playing a new game has different mechanics, different buttons you're gonna click, different areas. It's a learning curve, like it is for you, it is for me. It just is gonna take some time for you to get used to the rhythm of the game, and for you to think, oh my gosh, I just saw that. I just saw a grenade got thrown, on the corner of my screen. Like, I can't go that way. I should go the other way. I should take cover or something. It takes a while to really get used to playing those types of games. And
yeah, well, and the pacing too, and a lot of modern shooters is insanely high octane. It's gone to a point where a lot of times, unless you're in the competitive scene, there's not a lot of positioning thought, and it makes slow play. And this game did a little bit of it was controversial. They made a lot of campy spots, which isn't what we meant by playing slower. But there's a lot to every game that a lot of games just don't explain well anymore either. That's the other problem. Like they don't
have the tutorial really to break you through that. And there's also different types of games. Like you have first-person shooters like COD, or like team-based games again like COD, where you have to work with people and you have to know positionings and all these other things. Or you have like story games like The Last of Us and Detroit Becoming Human, Beyond Two Souls, that you're just kind of exploring, collecting things, crafting things. And like it just depends on what game you're playing. That's going to focus more on the story, the slice of life features, or like the actual get and go.
Well, and they being developers, they don't make a lot of games that are just you go in and you go. There's a lot of narrative done through building the character up in terms of increasing inventory, increasing whatever. So for example, Far Cry, right? You start out with your fists, maybe a pistol, right? And you're, by the end of it, killing bears with a giant 50 BMG and making money that way to save up to buy a gun to go do the boss fight with. And that takes away a lot of simplicity. And it's understandable where there's not a lot of side scrollers like Mario or like the Golden Axe game, which is a side scroller hack and slash. I've seen it in stores. I haven't played it. We got asked about it earlier, but where there's not a lot of games where you don't have upgrades, you don't have something to look for or something. There's no, or very few. Just go on the narrative, on this like rail car narrative.
I mean, that's not to say that game developers don't make those types of games. I've seen those games on Steam before. Those games do exist. They're just a lot more far and few between because, as people become more interested in video games, they become more complex because people want more complex games that either feel more realistic or they're wanting to get more time out of it than like a side scroller that maybe you could finish in like a week or something. People kind of want more out of their games, and that's why they're becoming more complex. Players are becoming forced to really sit down, spend hours to understand all the mechanics of the game and get used to it.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the fantasy for people nowadays too. Is it's a way to sit down and learn a completely new system. You and it's hard, right? When that's not explained to you and they're like, oh, this is a great game, and it's nothing like you're used to. Had that I've had that a couple times where there's a game that I'm like, oh, I've heard it's like this. It's nothing like that at all. It's a completely different system. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna refund this. I'm gonna get something else. Because I don't want to, get into that. I don't want to do all that all the time. But complexity is also something that comes with the increased storage space, the increased functionability, the increased capability of processors, and all these components that increasingly get smaller and smaller and smaller, but more powerful at the same time. Besides graphic cards, those are going to get bigger all the time. I think we're at a terminal size limit with those. We're starting to get to atoms, so those are going to slow up a little bit on shrinking.
Well, I think NVIDIA just recalled one of their graphics card. I can't remember which one. They recalled and pulled back one of their graphics card for something. I can't remember what. I just saw it on my Twitter. I saw it. NVIDIA was posting it on their Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Can't remember what it was, but yeah, I mean,
they canceled the 4090 Ti.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of. They canceled it. I couldn't remember if they canceled it or they pulled it back from storage or something.
Yeah, they canceled that, I'm pretty sure. So it's just going to be the 4090 for this generation, and then they have the Ti for everything else. Which at this point, the 4090 is so powerful that
don't really need anything else.
You don't need that. If you already have the 4090, don't get the Ti. Even if you're rich, there's no point.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the increased capability of games, it's hard for some players to keep up because, for example, I've got a 2070 Super, but as these components get higher and higher, faster and faster, that allows players to act and react faster and faster, and it increases the skill and everything of the player. So, and that just means we get better and better players all the time, and that's just something that comes with any sport. So, football, for example, that's they get better and faster. So, we'll be back, better, faster, higher reaction time, stronger maybe, on next week's show. See you guys later. Go Big Red.